I want to show you in this video an interview from a Formula One driver, Daniel Ricciardo, just to analyze the vocabulary and the expressions that he uses. There are three people in the interview and it's very fluent, very normal, and maybe it's very difficult to understand all the details. So I want to play the video. You can listen for maybe 2 minutes. And then after the video, I want to show you the vocabulary for the explanation to try to teach the expressions and the little vocabulary that maybe is very important for the conversation. And then after the explanation, I want you to watch the video again to try to catch the vocabulary and try to catch the expressions. Okay, so again, it's very, very interesting and it's good practice. So on the right here, you can see the vocabulary. But first, I just want to play the video. And you can see here, this is Daniel Ricciardo, and this is two people to interview him. So I'm just going to press play and you can see the audio. And I recommend you try to listen and you try to catch the conversation. Probably at the beginning, it's very, very difficult. I think the first time will be really difficult, but try your best. And after 2 minutes, I will return to the explanation of the vocabulary. Okay, so I'm just going to press play and hopefully the volume is okay and you can tell me what you think. Okay.
To say we're joined by a point-scoring Daniel Ricciardo. Must be a great relief after the hell of qualifying yesterday.
Yes, I was able to release a bit of that, certainly frustration and darkness from yesterday. I mean, fortunately, the track is one you can overtake on, and it does provide a bit of that. So, you know, these call it mistakes can't happen in the next 2 weekends. You know, you got Barcelona and Monaco, which are certainly less forgiving for overtaking. But we got the bad one out the way yesterday, and today was certainly a better day, and yeah, a bit of battling going on. So it kept me busy.
It is good to see you smile. You know, here at Channel 4, we're big fans of the Honey Badger, and we have been a bit concerned you haven't seemed like yourself of late.
I think I heard you. Haven't been myself as late.
You got it.
Yeah,
this blinking social distancing, but carry on.
It's all right. I gotcha. It's, you know, it's what it is you. I mean, I say you. Personally, obviously, I believe in myself a lot and I know what I'm capable of, and the fact that I'm not quite able to execute that yet, I know I need some patience, but we're stubborn and, you know, we want it yesterday. So that's hard because, I obviously expect a lot of myself, and we don't get, we get 20 chances a year. So if you miss one, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Even waiting a week to have another chance, you know, it's a long week. So,
and clearly very windy out there as well.
The wind is picking up. Oh. So look, we know you believe in you. We believe in you, Daniel. It was great to see you doing some big overtakes out there this afternoon. So that feeling with the car, it's coming. You know, is there some upgrades you need to really make you connect?
Okay, so that's very interesting 2 minutes. A bit difficult, of course, for sure, but very good vocabulary and very good expressions. Now, I want to show you the key vocabulary from the first 2 minutes, okay? So really good quality because the conversation is very fluent, very native. And now I just want to show you the vocabulary here on the right. So in the first 4 seconds, he said, it must be a great relief. So the verb is to relieve, and this means if you have a lot of stress, you have a lot of pressure, and you work Monday to Friday and you need to relieve stress, you need to relieve a lot of frustration. It's like to release, very similar to release or to liberate. So the verb is to relieve and the substantive is the relief, okay? After the hell of qualifying yesterday, so the vocabulary hell is the opposite of heaven. When you have God, you have heaven, and you have hell with the devil. So we use the hell in relation to difficult situations. So for example, yesterday, traffic was hell. It was very complicated. It was very difficult. Yesterday was hell. It was a very difficult day. So in this situation, the qualifying for the race, it was a very difficult day for this man. So very good vocabulary. And then he said, yes, I was able to release, which is almost the same as to relieve, but just a synonym and good vocabulary. So I was able to release a bit of that, certainly frustration and darkness. So dark is the adjective and darkness is the substantive, but again, it represents maybe the hell or the depression or the difficult anger. So in that situation, it's the darkness, and not very typical, but just important to, I suppose, understand the context as well. He said also the track. So in relation to athletics, you have the track, you have the running track, and in relation to Formula One or car racing, you have the track as well. In Spanish, it's the pista. Okay, so for motorbikes, cars, you have the track. Okay, and then the verb is to overtake, and this is very important for cars. If you're on the road and the car in front is very slow, you want to overtake. Okay, it's possible in business. You have two companies, and one company is overtaking the other company, so it's growing and growing, and it's more important. And also with track, we have a lot of expressions with track. For example, to keep your life on track, to keep everything on track is to keep everything correct and to keep everything in order and to keep everything good. Okay, then he said they are less forgiving. So he's talking about the track, he's talking about the, I think, the race. It's less forgiving. So the verb is to forgive, like to pardon. So of course, for people, you forgive another person, but in other situations, you can say the exam is not very forgiving. It's very difficult exam. That's the significance. So the track, the race is very difficult and it's not really forgiving. Okay, so it's a metaphor, not just for people, but for other situations as well. Then he said, we got the bad one out of the way yesterday. And that's a very good expression. For example, if you have 4 parts of the exam, one part is very difficult. This is the most difficult part of the exam. So you want the most difficult part first to get the most difficult part out of the way. So it's not important anymore. You can focus on the other 3. So to get something out of the way means that it's not important anymore. You can forget about it and you can concentrate on other things. Okay, so here he said we got the bad moment, the bad incident out of the way, because the probability is they will not have more difficult moments. So you get the bad one out of the way, okay? Or get the most difficult exam out of the way first. So you complete or you do the exam first. Then he also said there was a bit of battling going on, and that's really good vocabulary because the verb is to battle, and it's like to fight or to have difficulty. So in the car racing, if there's a bit of battling, it's a bit of fighting, a bit of moving for position. And in this situation, it's the same. So a bit of fighting, a bit of battling going on has the significance happening or occurring. So there's a bit of fighting, a bit of moving for position, occurring or happening. Okay. And as I said, the verb is to battle, which is very flexible and very important for other situations. You can battle the weather, you can battle the pandemic. So it's really good vocabulary. Then the gentleman, the interviewer, said, it's good to see you smiling. You know, here on Channel 4, that's the company, that's the television channel who's organizing the interview. We are big fans of, so this is very important as well. You are a fan of Spain, you are a fan of Netflix, you are a fan of Ireland. So that's the structure, a fan of. And here, big fans, because it's plural, you can eliminate a. The honey badger. So this is very, very difficult vocabulary. I think this is the nickname for the driver, for Daniel Ricciardo. His nickname is the honey badger. So it's very, very difficult to catch this in the sentence, and it's very difficult to understand the significance. But only if you understand the context and you're familiar with the topic, you might understand. But if you don't, it's impossible. We have been a bit concerned, a bit worried, a bit preoccupied. You haven't seemed. The verb seem is like parecer in Espanol, like yourself, of late. So that's a very good structure, of late, and it means recently. So you have been studying hard of late, and that means you have been studying hard recently. The weather has been fantastic of late. That means the weather has been fantastic recently. So it's an alternative structure with the same significance of recently. The next sentence was very, very difficult. And he said, this blinking social media, but we'll carry on. So Daniel could not hear the other man because the noise was very bad. So it was difficult to hear. And the interviewer said, this blinking social media. So this is a polite way, a very, very polite way to express a bad word. So in English, we have maybe the F word, which is maybe very strong and very vulgar. But because he's on the television, he does not want to say the bad word. So it's very typical in English to substitute blinking for the bad word. And this is the situation here. So he's very frustrated with the social distancing, because with the social distancing, it's impossible or difficult to hear. And he's very frustrated. So to express his frustration, he says blinking. And this is a substitution for the very strong or vulgar word in English. The next one is a phrasal verb, but we will carry on. And the phrasal verb to carry on is to continue. Carry on eating, continue eating. Carry on dancing, continue dancing. Carry on talking, continue talking. So in this situation, the significance to carry on with the interview, we will continue. So it's difficult to hear because of the social distancing, but they will carry on. They will continue. And then he said, Daniel said, it's okay, it's all right, I got you. So this is very fluent. It's very typical in conversation. The direct significance is I got you, and the significance really is I understand you. So if somebody explains instructions to you and you listen, you say, okay, I got you, which means I understand you. Okay, so it's another way to say I understand you. It's probably informal, but it's very good and it's very, very common as well. The next sentence, he said, I know I need some practice, but we're stubborn. So that's really, really good vocabulary. So the person who is very determined, has the opinion, and it's impossible to change the opinion. It's a very stubborn person. I think in Spanish you say cabezón, a person with a very strong head, strong mentality, maybe a little negative. So that's the typical expression. The person is very stubborn. It's the adjective. It's very difficult to change their opinion. And the expression in English is stubborn as a mule, which means a very difficult person to compromise, to negotiate, very, very difficult. Then he had a very funny expression. He said, we want it yesterday. Of course, want is the present, but it's the joke because we want it yesterday. So they're very hungry. They're really focused and they're really determined for the success, and they cannot wait for the success. So they want it yesterday because they cannot wait for tomorrow. They cannot wait for next year. They want the success now, but more intense. They want the success yesterday. So probably in other languages, you have a similar structure to say this sentence as well. He also said it's clearly very windy out there. So when the object fell, you can see in the video, the object fell and it was a lot of noise. And the comment in relation to this fall, he said it's clearly, obviously very windy out there. And then the next expression, the man said the wind is picking up. And that's the phrasal verb. To pick up is literal, pick up the dirt, pick up the telephone. But in relation to the wind, it's to increase the intensity. So it's increasing the intensity, the volume is picking up, and that's difficult as well. So he's also saying that the wind is increasing or it's more intense as well. The final question, he said, is there some upgrades you need to make you really connect? So an upgrade is a noun in relation to improve the car. Is there an improvement you can make to the car? An upgrade, because in English we have a grade, level A, grade B, grade C. So is there something you can do to improve the quality of the car? Is an upgrade. With your telephone, my telephone is the iPhone maybe 6, 7. So it's possible to have an upgrade, which is to move to the better quality or the better model. Okay. So I think 2 minutes is perfect. I think that's sufficient time just to practice a little, and maybe we can continue with more of the explanation. But first, I want you to take the 2 minutes again and to listen again and try to catch the vocabulary. This time, I will put the script at the side of the video and we can try to watch the script and read the vocabulary at the same time as the video. Okay, so let me move my video here and we go back to the start, and good luck. Okay.
We're joined by a point-scoring Daniel Ricciardo. Must be a great relief after the hell of qualifying yesterday.
Yes, I was able to release a bit of that, certainly frustration and darkness from yesterday. It's. I mean, fortunately, the track is one you can overtake on, and it does provide a bit of that. So, you know, these call mistakes can't happen in the next 2 weekends. You know, you got Barcelona and Monaco, which are certainly less forgiving for overtaking. But we got the bad one out the way yesterday, and today was certainly a better day. And yeah, a bit of battling going on. So it kept me busy.
It is good to see you smile. You know, here at Channel 4, we're big fans of the Honey Badger, and we have been a bit concerned you haven't seemed like yourself of late.
I think I heard you. Haven't been myself as late.
You got it.
Yeah,
this blinking social distancing, but carry on.
It's all right. I gotcha. It's, you know, it's what it is you. I mean, I say you personally. Obviously, I believe in myself a lot, and I know what I'm capable of, and the fact that I'm not quite able to execute that yet. I know I need some patience, but we're stubborn, and you know we want we won it yesterday. So that's hard because yeah, I obviously expect a lot of myself, and yeah, we don't get. I mean, we get 20 chances a year. So if you miss one, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Even waiting a week to have another chance, you know, it's a long week. So
And clearly very windy out there as well.
Yeah, the wind is picking up. So look, we know you believe in you. We believe in you, Daniel. It was great to see you doing some big overtakes out there this afternoon. So that feeling with the car, it's coming. You know, is there some upgrades you need to really make you connect?
yeah, I think we got.
Okay, great. So again, that's 2 minutes, and I think with the script, it definitely helps on the left. I hope it was a bit easier with the script, and maybe you can understand a little better. For me, it's very, very important. I don't know if there are subtitles available. Probably yes, you have subtitles available and you can see all the vocabulary. But for me, this type of activity is very important, and it's very good practice to try to catch the vocabulary, because in real situations, it's very, very difficult to understand native English speakers. And this type of activity for me is very useful and very important, and I think it will help a lot. There are a few more minutes, so I suppose I can show you maybe the next vocabulary. Okay, so the next sentence, he says, I think they are all steered in that direction. So the verb to steer is very important, and it's typical, like to direct the car, but typical in the car. When you drive the car, you steer the car, so it's your control. It's possible for the ship, you steer the ship, and it can be a metaphor for your life, or it can be a metaphor for the business. So to steer the business is to control, or to direct the business, or direct your life. So here, everything is steered for success. So it's controlled or designed or organized for success. So very advanced and very good vocabulary. It's steered in that direction. It's heading for that direction. It's going in that direction. It's aiming in that direction. Okay, so for success. Then he said, yeah, you just want to always lean on the car. So this is very, very good vocabulary. The verb is to lean, and it's like to support. For example, on the wall, if you're very tired, you lean on the wall. It's like inclination. In Italy, you have the tower in Pisa, and in English, we say the leaning tower of Pisa. So the verb to lean is this action like inclination, but it's a metaphor for your friend. If you need help, if you need support, you need to lean on your friend for support, okay? And here, he wants to drive the car, and he wants to lean on the car physically. I think it's this just a physical pressure of the body on the car. That's the significance as well. And then he said, it's kind of, which is very typical, and this is very common in English, and you can say also sort of, and that means not totally. So he said it's kind of like muscle memory. So it's not exactly the same, but it's a similarity. Are you happy? I'm kind of happy. Not totally happy, but you're a type of happy. So there's two possibilities, kind of, sort of, and maybe a third, a type of. Very, very typical word in English, and very typical expression. For example, the weather. How is the weather? It's kind of sunny. So it's not exactly sunny. It's a little variation of sunny. And here it's exactly the same. This is typical in conversation, and maybe very difficult to catch with fluent speakers. Then he also said to come off the brake. So the brake is the opposite of the accelerator in the car and the brake, but the vocabulary we use is to come off the brake. So it's to reduce to stop. So to come off the brake is maybe to increase the velocity and to decrease the pressure for the brake. Okay, there is an expression as well. We say to come off it, which is maybe informal. If I don't believe you. Okay, so to come off it is maybe informal, and the significance is I don't believe you. Maybe for an addiction, if you come off the chocolate or you come off coffee, that's also possible as well, to come away from in an addiction, or also here with the accelerator and the brake. Okay, it's like so finite, so that's really good vocabulary, probably very similar in other languages. The pronunciation is important. It's finite, it has a limit, but it's going to come. So that's related to the success. The success is going to come. You just need to be patient. Going to is the future, and going to come means it will happen in the future, but probably you require patience, and you need to be calm, and you need to wait. Okay. And then he continues, even the way they handled. So I think this is the concept of the team. They handled yesterday is to control, handle the situation, handle the workers. It's like manage or control the situation. And handled me, it's like to deal with me, to treat me, to manage me. So it's good synonyms. To handle somebody is to control or to manage the situation. They could see I was very upset, and upset is the significance, very sad, very angry, very disappointed, to say the least. So this is a very good expression, very polite way to say that you're angry and you want to say more, but because you're polite, you maybe say the minimum. So if I say I am not happy, but really I want to say a lot more. So to say the least, I am not happy because I really want to say more things that you are not happy about. So that's a really common expression, to say the least. And then the final 2 or 3, he said most things are in order. So if everything is in order, everything is organized, everything is good, everything is correct, everything is in order. Okay. And then the other vocabulary here, it was very strange in relation to a tattoo on the arm, a tattoo on the body, but the belly button is the particular part of the body, which I think you need to understand the context of the joke, because again, I don't know the particular joke they have, but the belly button is good vocabulary. It's part of the body. Okay. And then we also had upgrade. If you remember the telephone, you upgrade to a new telephone, but the opposite is to downgrade, to go to a lower model, a worse car. Okay, so to downgrade. And here they're joking about the tattoo. And again, the nipple is a part of the body. And then the piercing is typical for your ear piercing. Okay, so it's just a joke in the video, but the vocabulary might be difficult to catch. And then he said, we're not quite there yet. So that's in relation to the challenge or in relation to the situation. They're not there at that moment, at that stage. They are not at that stage yet. Okay, but it could happen in the future. So not too difficult, but we will just play a little more and you can try and catch the vocabulary at the same time. Okay, thank you.
We might have a few in Barcelona, and I think they're all steered into the direction of helping. But it's not even helping me. I think it's going to help both of us. And I think Lando is being familiar with the car as well, and I think he's driving the car very well, and driving, let's say, maybe around some of the weaknesses very well. So he's able to still get good performance out of it. But I think, let's say, having some updates, if they work as we expect, will probably help both of us. So yeah, you just want to always just lean on the car and just throw it into the corner.
Can you help me understand? Could you put it in terms I could understand? Can you explain how difficult it is to leave one team, leave one car, and just hop into another, and off you go? How difficult is that process?
Proving to be more than I expected, unfortunately. So it's everything now. It's very easy to make. It's easy to, I think, make a mistake, and also because the level's so high, and we're pushing obviously the cars to the limit, that the cars are still quite fragile on the limit. And I think knowing how to deal with the car on the limit just takes time. And I think I said it maybe at the last race, but it's kind of like muscle memory, and you've just got to do it repetitively enough, okay, to then know how it feels and what it's going to do, and then your body will naturally adapt and turn in more or less and come off the brake quicker, or all these little things. And it's so like finite, but it's going to come. So got 66 more laps today, so that should get me a bit closer.
So you moved here because you believe this is the right step for your career to challenge for a world championship. Do you have any reason to doubt that now you've had a chance to see the team, see the infrastructure, see the opportunity?
One doesn't. The team are great. And even the way they handled yesterday and handled me, I mean, they could see I was very upset, to say the least. But even kind of from the whole management, how they deal with kind of internal emotions and all of that, and keeping the team kind of on a level field of whatever emotionally and whatever, I don't know the word, but yeah, they definitely do the right things. And I know in a pressure situation, like fighting for a world title, most things are in order right now.
Good. Last thing, Lando's shown the car is podium capable. Is there a chance we might see a belly button tattoo on Zak Brown at some point this year?
I
love to see it.
I want to. I don't know. I got to do something. I mean, I feel like the tattoo was, I guess, Cyril's thing, and I still haven't done it. So I don't want to promise someone another one.
Why don't we downgrade it to a nipple piercing?
Yeah, I know. Maybe a piercing. maybe I don't know, a skydive, something that's gonna create create some chaos in his life. So yeah, we'll we're not quite there yet, but it's good to think about it.
Well, because
Okay, great. So it's difficult to understand every word. It's very difficult to catch every sentence and every vocabulary. So I don't know if the subtitles are available, and maybe that will help you. There was one or two expressions I did not explain. This one, to leave one team and just pop into another. So this is very conversational as well. So the verb to pop in is to visit. Okay, so for example, your friend pops in to see you, or you pop to the shop. The significance is to go very, very quickly. And here's exactly the same. So Ricciardo left one team and he entered another team very, very quickly. So to pop in and off you go. So off is related to start. So the match kicks off at 8 o'clock. We are off on holidays. It means we are going on holidays. So off you go is very conversational as well. And it means away you go. So that's the question. Was it difficult just to leave one team and to move very, very quickly to pop into another, and off you go? So very conversational. And he said the process is proving to be very difficult. And also the verb is to prove, but you need to remember that the substantive is proof. So that's very, very good difference between the verb and the substantive. And it's a very good expression. So it's proving to be more than I expected. The next expression is push the cart to the limit, push yourself to the limit, push the company to the limit. So again, another good expression. And then the next expression, I think that was the most other vocabulary that I did not explain. So for me, this type of exercise is very good. Only 5 minutes of the video, but I recommend you probably try to listen again. And I recommend that you try to watch maybe with the subtitles is possible. So that's really good practice. And this is from the class yesterday. We had a webinar on Tuesday in relation to sport. And this is the type of activity we do in the webinars every week. On Monday, it's grammar. Tuesday, it's sport. Today, on Wednesday, it's for the IELTS. Thursday, it's for the advanced at 4 o'clock. Friday, it's business English with a similar strategy. And Saturday at 1 o'clock, we have a webinar for the B2 level. So this is just a little sample of the work. I hope you enjoy. I hope you will understand the vocabulary, and I hope you can understand the listening in the text. So it's very, very good practice. And thank you so much. I hope you can keep in contact on all the social media. And if you have a comment, you can please leave the comment below the video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.